Hello, this is Lisa Russick and Misty Lore with the podcast We're All Psychic. And today we have a really cool guest. She is a Llewellyn author, among other things. Her name is Granddaughter Crow. Would you like to say hello?
Hi there. Yeah, it's A. They call me Granddaughter Crow. I'm born to the Bilagana clan for the Taachini clan, member of the Navajo Nation as well as Dutch heritage. And I say that because it's traditional to tell people what your bloodline is from the Navajo reservation.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's A. Yeah, it's A. Mm-hmm.
So we have a question for you. Do you think we're all psychic?
100%. And I think that the only part that is hard for people to wrap their mind around is their own personal definition of psychic.
Very true.
Yes. And so in fact, I am known as a professional psychic, and it took me probably 5 years as a professional to move from the word intuitive to psychic, or empath to psychic. And this is why I will say that we are all psychic. So kind of break it down. The way that I will define psychic is the ability to perceive and or know that which you cannot explain how you perceived or knew. And so I throw down a lot of, I actually teach a psychic development class. And so I pulled a lot of the material from there just really quickly to go, if you look at the word psychic, you're looking at the root word psyche. And then you've got, psychologist or psych, the psyche, individual psyches, etc. And so this is what I wanted to share with you guys and your listeners. So in the English-speaking language, we define the word psyche as something that is individual, personalized. You have your psyche, I have my psyche. When my psyche is out of balance, I go to a psychologist, a psychotherapist, a psychic, whatever it be. However, in the Navajo language, they understand the word psyche to not be individualized, but to be, to be actually like the water that we as fish are swimming in. So it is a collective movement that we're moving in. And if you do the etymology, go back to the origin of the word, you're going to be looking at Latin and Greek, and you're going to go all the way back to the Hebrew language, which again, then you see the psyche means breath and or air. So it's this thing that we are moving in. And if I'm a fish and you're a fish and you're a fish, and I go, whoop, and you guys go, whoa, what was that? Right? So this is the beautiful thing around it. We're perceiving this. It also depends on okay, so this is what I'll say. Quantum physics says that we perceive 400 billion, if you could wrap your mind around that, bits of information per second.
Wow. That's a lot.
That 400 billion. I had to check it, double check it. I still check it to this day, and if you want a reference with that, it's like, go watch or read the book, What the Bleep Do We Know? It's all about the quantum physics. It's a documentary. You could probably find it.
I have watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they say in there. They're like, we receive 400 billion bits of information per second. But the average human being only computes about 2,000 per second, which still is mind blowing.
Yeah. So but there's still another 400,000 that we're like, or 400,000 and what, 40, 60?
Oh, like, yeah,
there's like a lot more billions. That's a really good, that's good information. So, I mean, that's part of the fluid water of
Exactly. And so I'm perceiving it. You're perceiving it. I guess the first question to the listeners is figure out how you are perceiving this information. Are you perceiving it through your gut Are you perceiving it through your heart? Are you perceiving it through like a psychic vision? Are you perceiving it audibly? Is it like an internal voice? Sometimes it's an external voice. Sometimes it's an internal knowing, but we're all perceiving it. I mean, if you look at how many children are like, hey, there's a man behind you, mom. He says that he's your dad or whatever. And then by the time that they go to school, that starts getting shut down.
Yeah.
It starts getting shut down. And so what I would say is the question is not, are you perceiving information? The question is, how are you perceiving the information? And are there blocks there put in or instilled by society that causes you not to? And I want to say one more thing about that. If you understand an esoteric concept that all is now, there is no future and there is no past. And here, I'll prove it to you. If you sit back as a listener and think to yourself, what did I have for breakfast this morning? And if you had breakfast or maybe a coffee or a tea or a good lunch, taste it. I mean, you can kind of imagine how it still tastes. And then think about what you might want for lunch tomorrow, dinner tomorrow. You can almost smell it. You can almost taste it. You can sense it. So you're jumping around through space and time. Yeah. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually. The physical body is the only thing that seems a little bit like, I can't go through space and time. But we can, but that's another show. So if you realize that all is happening in the now, then you will have the ability to perceive the past and the future and the present all in the space of now, hence predictions. So I teach, like I said, I teach a psychic development class. And usually it's about 6 weeks long, like once a week, 6 weeks, so 6 times. And by the middle, towards the end, I will usually have somebody say, Granddaughter Crow, you're not teaching us how to be psychic. You're teaching us how to break down those walls that cause us not to acknowledge what we are perceiving. And I was like, bingo. So, and some of us exercise it more, trust it more, but it is about developing it almost like a muscle where you get to know that you get to see things and sense things and perceive things that are unexplainable. 400 billion bits per second. Your body gets it.
Yeah. Yeah. Your mind just has to catch up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The linear logical society.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a really great point. How do you already do it? And if there's anything blocking, that's the really great advice. So were you always raised with these beliefs? Have you always felt this way?
See, I was raised as my father, although he is full-blood Navajo, raised by medicine people, he's 90 years old. And so at that time, he was raised during those formative years where they took the Navajo off of the reservation and put them into boarding school and pretty much brainwashed him into a Christianized form of thinking, or a white man form of thinking, or however you want to classify it, not judging here. And so then he ended up taking the road as a medicine person under the Christian faith. He is a reverend of the Christian faith, and so is my mother. They met in seminary school. So then they go back down to the missionary, as missionaries for the Christian faith, to the Navajo reservation. Had a few children. I was deemed the one who, she's got it. So by this time, they moved away from denominational thinking and moved into more of what maybe some of your listeners might understand as spirit-filled. Spirit-filled means that you're touched by the Holy Spirit. You can speak in tongues. You can have a gift of wisdom, knowledge, prophecy, dreams, dream interpretation, intercession, all of these things. So when I was very, very lucky, I was raised to have all of these and have them nurtured and encouraged. However, it was under the Christian faith. When I decided to question, why isn't this equalized? How come people who don't know about God go to hell? Because this was before internet, giving up my age, Gen X here.
We are Gen X too.
Yeah.
And so then I kind of was questioning, and that caused a lot of problems. Not exactly even what I was saying, but that I was questioning. And so then I moved away. And then in my mid 30s, Spirit said, it's time to come back. I came back and use all of those gifts that I was raised to use now under more of a, whatever you want to call it. Like a lot of people classify me with shamanism. Some people may say metaphysical, new age, whatever it is that you understand. So it's just different terminology. And
it really is.
Yeah. And then at that point in my life, I began to study all of this. And that's why I establish now, like what I just said about all are psychic. When I was a Christian, psychic was a devil word.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was raised Catholic.
Devil word.
Yeah.
Yep. So
you know, it's interesting that there is, I didn't know there was a Christian faith of any kind that integrated this stuff. I just don't know much about, I haven't been to church in a long time, any kind of church. But I just don't like organized religion personally. In my experience, but we're in Alabama, so my experience with organized religion is not very open-minded on their part.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't relate to it. There's a lot of restrictions, and they don't have any reasons for them. Except the pastor said so. And they say the Bible says it, but it doesn't, or their Bible might say something like it, but it's interpreted that way. And they just say, okay, I believe you,
And what version,
Yeah, there's so many, like every religion seems to have its own Bible. Every Christian religion is like, every church almost has its own Bible. So, so I'd love to like talk about your books some and let the listeners know about them.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been writing?
The funny thing is that I barely passed high school English. I barely got out of high school. So what I'm saying to the reader or the listener out there that has a book within them, don't listen to the internal story of the past. Say what you got to say and say it on paper before you tell too many people. Because once your story is told too many times, it loses its impact within you, or that inertia to write. So keep your story within and spill it out onto paper and write. So my first book, I published it in 2018. Self-published. It's called Journey of the Soul, Path of a Medicine Person.
Show them. Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell the listeners, this is a video podcast on Spotify.
It is.
She's got a picture of her book. You can see it. She's got her book. You can see it. Journey of Soul. And this is on Spotify, so you can see her books.
Yep.
Journey of
the Soul,
The Path
of a Medicine Person by Granddaughter Crow. This book goes into the journey of the soul lies within, right? It's not external. And that it is the hard times, the dark night of the soul. I consider them to be initiations towards you learning your medicine. So if you have something in your life that you don't want to talk about, that's fine. Don't talk about it. But please extract the wisdom that you learned. Were you ostracized? Were you persecuted? Were you ridiculed? Were you blamed for something? Whatever? What did they, and take the wisdom from that and carry it as a medicine person, because medicine people are from all races. So carry it as a medicine person. And I think that it's kind of weird because I'll have people go, Granddaughter Crow, I don't know why. It's just so easy for me. I feel like you'll understand. And I'm like, let me tell you something, honey. I don't sit on this side of the table because I've had such a happy life. I earned this. I have been to hell and back.
Wisdom is earned, yes.
The wisdom is earned, yeah. And then the second book that I wrote, this one was picked up by Llewellyn Worldwide.
Wisdom of the Natural World.
Yep, and it's spiritual and practical teachings from plants, animals, and Mother Earth. This one is really beautiful. Just because I'm Navajo doesn't mean that this is Navajo wisdom. This is natural world wisdom.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to look at the animals and how they interact with each other. And then think about you and how you interact in your relationship. What kind of animal are you behaving like? And what kind of animal are they behaving like? And what is the natural occurrence between those two animals?
Interesting.
We don't get along with everybody, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
What kind of plant do you behave like? What type of plant do they behave like? Do they need different environments? Are you in a relationship that you're a palm tree and they're keeping you in the high mountains of, Rocky Mountains? Yeah, exactly.
The pine
Up in the
trees,
cold, and you're just like, I love this person, but I cannot grow in this relationship. Well, yeah, it's too cold. You need something sunny and happy. And it does that with relationships and romance. Business and finance teaches you how to look at the natural world to help you with that, and health and well-being. So this one, actually, you guys, this is really exciting. This one won the gold award from the Coalition of Visionary Resources.
Oh, that's so cool! Congratulations.
Under shamanism and paganism.
That is
Thank
really
you. Yeah, so there's that one. I feel like a little kid at show and tell. Really
show tell.
So this one is the one that we probably will talk about a little bit on this podcast, Belief, Being, and Beyond by Granddaughter Crow. This one shifts paradigms. The subtitle is Your Journey to Questioning Ideas. Because a lot of religions say, do not question God, do not question the written text, do not question authority, do not question your parents, do not question your elders, do not question. And that just
and that's drilled into him as a kid.
Yeah.
It was drilled in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then it says deconstructing concepts and healing from harmful belief systems. People, whether you represent a person of color, a female, LGBTQ+, or like a really awkward white elder male that also felt like they got ridiculed because of somebody's harmful belief system. So pretty much everybody, this book is for you. Yeah. This book is for you. And it shows my journey on what happened to me and why I wrote this book. And it does comparative religions. And it really kind of gets into, what is belief system? And just like you said, Lisa, earlier, in Alabama and man-made religion and all of that, it's kind of like this one helps us to start questioning and to feel that whatever created us with a sense of curiosity. And what I think that curiosity was born in us to do is to lead us to our authenticity, our authentic self.
I agree.
Yeah. So
we
if
have
you're
to find
like,
it.
I like, stones. I like crystals. I want to know about palmistry. I want to know about astrology. It's like your curiosity is leading you home.
Yes.
That's what it did to you, Misty. It did it to me too, all my life too. And she shut hers down for a long time. When she was younger, she had, all the things going on, all the intuitive stuff, and she shut it down. And then a few years ago, she started opening it back up again. So
Lisa helped me a lot.
And then for me, my journey has more been or my experience is like on and off all my life, coming back into it, out of it, into it, out of it, never really accepting it, and then finally accepting it, and that's, I guess, what you write about authenticity in that book, I think I would like to read that book and read, because a lot of it was, is this authentic? Is this me? Is this happening? Is this real? And I was looking for other people for the answer, but they didn't have it, they didn't have the answer.
Right.
Yeah. The beautiful thing about this is that I believe that we all unfold like a lotus with many, many layers. And so we keep unfolding and we keep unfolding. So irregardless of how many years you have been okay with thinking this, or if it's just today, that last night you had a dream and today you're like, I got to look up, am I psychic? And you find this podcast, we're all in this place of, wow, awesomeness, curiosity. Don't put yourself on a measuring stick.
No,
just to tell your listeners.
Everybody does that. They're like, I don't feel like I'm progressing fast enough. A lot of people do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Take time.
It frustrates them. It's like, no, you don't have to.
The path. Yeah, the path is within you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And I think that the first lesson on the path is I'm allowed to be curious. And I'm allowed to ask questions, because when you are curious and you get to ask questions without thinking that there's some sort of whatever it is, societal or Godhead or whatever that is, that's judging you for doing that, that's what's stopping you. And that's turning us into sheeple, quite frankly. Yes. When you go, wait, whatever created me with a mind and a curious soul.
Yes.
What kind of a messed up place would it be if then it told me if I utilize what it gave me, I was a sinner?
And isn't it the Christian belief says that we're made in his image, God's image? So we should, you would think that if he made us to be like him, then he would want us to be like him. Do the things that he is capable of, or
be a creator,
or learn them, or you be a creator. Exactly.
Be a creator,
not a destructor.
Right. So if you open up to being curious and knowing that you were given a mind, and then see where that takes you, it might stumble you a little bit. You might be like, okay, I learned that I don't like that. That's fine. That's fine, but it's all about that. Like this is funny because all of the answers to your questions might be sitting right in front of you, but until you formulate the question, you will not recognize the answer.
Oh, amen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
I do too. Yeah.
I like the way you put that.
Misty, I know you've got questions.
Yes.
She's like pinching. She's like, I gotta wait.
And I'm all blah, blah, blah.
She's got questions.
I did read part of the book. I didn't get to finish it, but I did read part of it. And I like the way you used the tarot deck and compared it with like parts of the Bible and parts of growing like through the journey. I read that, and that was awesome, the way that you put it into ways to understand it. So if anybody is out there and they're kind of wanting to understand tarot and understand, the psychic part, your book was amazing, and it did that, definitely. For me, it did. I enjoyed that.
Good. But, I'm so glad.
Yes, I loved it. And I think it was original too. I haven't read many books that have done that before. So I really liked it. I wanted to let you know that. But so if somebody is just trying to get their senses going and they're just starting out, what do you suggest their first steps to take?
And just starting out like on a spiritual path or a psychic path or what?
Same thing. Like for us, we usually like We're All Psychic is kind of catchy. So it's a good psychic title.
Yeah.
But we always kind of refer to all of it as energy work.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sum it up,
What would their first, I'm sorry, you guys, because you hear this all the time, I'm sure, get a journal.
No,
we don't hear that.
We don't hear that.
Get a journal.
Say right, but not many.
My goodness. Get a journal and give yourself space and time. So when I say give yourself space and time, I'm not just talking about your physical body. I see that we have there's a school of thought, and I look at it a lot. We have 4 bodies of existence. We have the physical body. We have the emotional body. We have the mental body and we have the spiritual body. Give your bodies a space and time where you can relax emotionally, relax mentally, relax spiritually, relax physically, and then just write about whatever you want. Go sit under a tree and write whatever you want. Write down what you're perceiving, write down questions, etc. Man, I remember I would wake up early, I'd light some incense and a candle, and I would just kind of be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'd write down all my questions and all my thoughts. And then you know what happened? After I got through a journal, and then I went through and I was like, this concept actually, and I flipped back a few pages, answers this question.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh,
And I'm not alone on that. You ask a question, the answer is going to come maybe through a song, maybe through a commercial, maybe through a movie, maybe through a podcast. If you ask a question, the answer shows up. I guarantee it.
Might not like it, so you might not notice it.
But you got to pay attention.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well,
So
yeah, that's
get
good
a journal.
advice.
And if nothing else, that's your place where you are allowed to be you.
Mm-hmm.
That's your place where you are not judged by anybody except for yourself. And then you start realizing, oh God, I'm not a judge of me. That's an old narrative that I heard.
Yes.
And then you start releasing all that and you start becoming who you are. And you start listening to your internal voice and you get to know yourself. That's the bottom line.
And you get to love yourself when you really get to know yourself and accept yourself. You're going to love yourself, you know?
Yes. And that's when it all starts, I think.
Yeah.
And
it's like all together. It all kind of works at the same time, like growing and growing and growing.
Yep.
But Granddaughter Crow, where can listeners find your books? Where can they find out? Do you have a website or anything? Where can they find out?
Absolutely. Just remember the name Granddaughter Crow. A lot of people call me Grandmother Crow. So think Granddaughter Crow. Yes, I am a grandmother, but think Granddaughter Crow and then just put that into any search engine. Or you can just www.granddaughtercrow.com. All of my information is right there on my website.
I'll put that information in the description.
Everything. Just www.granddaughtercrow.com. But seriously, if you Google Granddaughter Crow, like I'm all over it.
That's
Here's
nice,
my social media, because it's such an odd name. Right?
Yeah.
But I do want to tell you that the reason why I'm called Granddaughter Crow is because my grandfather, my dad's dad, danced with the crows and the ravens, and they taught him their magic, and I carry that. So I'm
lovely. I love that. You know, I have a question for you about ravens. I've had a raven ever since I moved into this place. I moved in on April 20th, and it's a condo place, and there was a raven here, and there's like a little shopping center around the corner. I'm in a small town, so whenever I go over there, the raven goes with me.
Oh.
And like the first time I noticed it flew across my car and over to the shopping center. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. It came. I think it's the same one. And then I pulled in and I turned and it was just standing in the road with a piece of trash in its mouth, just looking at me like a little straw wrapper, just like, hey. So like, I don't know. I have I've always assumed ravens are around a lot of, people who work with their energy, and crows too. But I was like, do you have any idea what this raven is trying to let me know? Because it feels like she's trying to tell me something.
I will, since you solicited my insight, I will tell you, I believe that a part of her message is like, I am you.
That makes sense because I
am you.
I eat junk.
Right.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you. I will keep that in mind.
I am you. And I, as you, let me show you who you are. You are mystical. You are magical. You are not afraid to go into the unknown. You are not afraid of the darkness, for you've been there before many a time. So it's this magical, mystical magician that sometimes gets ostracized because they are so magical and mystical, and sometimes they get praised because of it. So who cares? Just go out there and give your message. That's what I would say.
Go fly. Go fly.
I love it.
Thank you so much. That's really awesome. And I just want to let you know, you have like this really warm heart. I can just feel it. You just have this really warm, like you generate just warmth of like love and acceptance. And I just can feel it through the screen. I felt it right away when you came on, and I just love that. Thank you. And you calmed me down. I was kind of like in a place, but then you got on here and I just feel a lot better. What about you, Misty? She had a bad day at work, and I just feel better because you just have a great calming, loving energy, and it's just really welcome. And I thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And any last words for the listeners? Anything else
absolutely.
You'd love to tell?
Be you. Be your greatness as only you can be.
Only. That's so true. Only you. We are all unique. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Misty, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
And listeners, thank you always for listening and watching this one. Maybe if you caught it in the middle of the podcast. And we will see you in a couple of days. Thank you again, and peace out. Have a great day, night, morning.